Hey there! Welcome to a very special video, because this video is about a pen that I got and that I find absolutely stunning. Now, I've said that in the past about other pens, but this one, as far as I'm concerned, really knocks pretty much everything I own out of the water. So, it blows it out of the water, knocks it off their socks, knocks it, punches it in the face. Anyway, that doesn't matter. What matters is this. A long time ago, at a pen show far, far away, it wasn't that far away for me, but it probably is for you. I was at the Tilburg pen show, and Sarj was there. Sarj Minhas, the one-man pen show. I'll talk a little bit more about him in a second. Sarj is, I may as well do it now. Sarj is a great man. I love him. He's not a professional pen vendor, but he does sell pens. He goes to various pen shows, and he has it. If you're looking for it, he has it. And if he doesn't have it, he will probably be able to find it. It may take a while, but he's really a great guy. Also a super nice guy. And in the good old FP Geeks days, he was dubbed the one-man pen show, because wherever he is at a pen show, there is the pen show, and then there is Sarj. He brings hundreds of pens to the table, and they're all perfect. They're all perfect, they're beautiful, they're great, and they're special. He will have the one pen special edition of this, or the limited edition of that, or whatever. It's superb. You can spend an entire day looking at his pens, and it'll be a day well spent. Now, I saw a pen on his table. This was September 2015. And it was the Tilburg pen show, and I fell in love with it. It was a pretty expensive pen, but I kind of fell in love with it. I didn't buy it. Then I saw Sarj again in April, I believe it was, at the Cologne pen show in Germany. He still had it. Didn't get the pen again. And then my very sweet wife said, you know, maybe you should get that, and I'll get it for you as a gift. Now, that is probably the most spectacular gift I've ever had, and I won't waste any more of your time, but just get into the pen. Alright. It's made by Classic Pens. Now, Classic Pens, don't confuse it. There is Classic Pens, which is what is the name often used to refer to, I think, John Motteshaw's thing, nibs.com. Classic Pens, that's not it. This Classic Pens is by Andreas Lambro, a penman, a pen person who is also responsible for those beautiful books of fountain pens of the world, fountain pens of Japan, etc. Superb books that I absolutely love, have reviewed before, and he also made a few pens. These were collaborations with Sailor. These pens, this particular model is called LB5. It was based on Sailor's King of Pen, not the King of Pen professional gear, the one with the flat top, but the longer, the ebonite model, except this is an ebonite. I'll show you that in a second. First, the box. This is the box, a white outer box. I'm not going to throw for once. I always love it when you can open up the box like this. That's really neat. So there's that. Sarj Minhas. This is the person. Alright, I'm just going to give you a second to look at the email address at the bottom. If you're looking for something fancy, I mean, not a big ballpoint, you know, but if you're looking for something fancy, like I'm looking for a special Conway Stewart model, I'm looking for a Mont Blanc, I'm looking for this, whatever, drop him an email and he will get back to you. It's not his day job, alright, so be patient, but he'll get back to you. In here are two things. There is a certificate of authenticity, which is not at all bad. Signed by Andreas Lambro digitally, and by Kunio Ishizaki, the Senior Executive Director of Sailor Pen in Japan, because as I said, Sailor makes these pens. There is the Classic Pens Lifetime Warranty Certificate of Authenticity, which again signed by Andreas Lambro, who was also a very nice guy, by the way. I met him at the DC pen show. He's very nice. That man lives and breathes pens. It's a true lover. And here you have the box. Simple box for a very fancy pen But I like this. It's all that's required. I don't need a box the size of a shoebox. This is what it's supposed to do. Nice box. Of course, there's no pen because I took the pen out, and that's all there's to it. Alright, now you want to see the pen. I know you do. Sorry for taking so long, but I'm very, very enthusiastic about this, so bear with me. This is the pen, alright? This is the LB5. There are various LB5s in various finishes. Some are already launched, some are yet to come. This is the Kaen, K-A-E-N, Kaen. I'm not entirely sure if I pronounced it correctly. Kaen, Kaen. No, I don't know. I'm sure that someone's going to correct me on that. And it actually says so on the little sheet here. This is the certificate of authenticity. Kaen Violent Flames, and it is a stunning red. I'll show you a close-up of that in a second, but stunning red. Now, you may, if you've ever seen a King of Pen, that ebonite model, I've reviewed one, so you can always look at that. You see it has the same shape, except it is 5mm longer. And the King of Pen is already a big pen. This one's even bigger. Limited edition, there are only 50 of these, but there are other colors too. There's green, there's a purple, there's a brown, there's a white, and there's more colors coming out. It's a special bonded acrylic, which is supposed to give various layers, I think. It's all I can tell you is it's freaking stunning if you look at these. Okay, I'm going to cover the parts of the pen, tell what I like about it, what I don't like about it, and then I'll do a writing sample. Top of the pen, nothing. This is just the finial, but there is nothing. Then we have the clip. The clip is definitely sailor-esque. Little gold ring there, and I'm just trying to give you a feel of the material and how pretty it is. I think it's really, really neat. The clip is tight, but not so tight that you can't use it. And then you have an enormous center band, alright? The center band right there, gold colored, and it says Sailor, it says LB5, it says Kaen, and it says right there, and I think that is the only thing that is laser engraved. The rest is really etched in. It says 30 of 50, so it's number 30 of 50. Then we have the barrel, also very pretty, and then it ends in a little tip, which I enjoy. The LB5 comes in 3 nibs. There is the medium nib, the broad nib, and bear in mind these are Japanese nibs, so if you compare them to Western nibs, medium and fine would be about medium and broad would be about fine and medium in Western nib, so they are on the finer side, but they also come in a specialty nib, and that is the Nagahara cross point nib. What's a cross point nib? A cross point nib is, in a nutshell, 2 nibs on top of each other. And if you look at the tipping, it actually has a cross because of the 2 nibs, 2 slits. So I'm sure you understand what I mean. You get a cross shape because you have this and then you have that, right? Cross. And that's what they do. And depending on the angle, they give a finer or a broader line. It's a little bit like a zoom nib, except I like this a lot better than a zoom nib. And that's what's on this pen. So that's what made it extra special for me. It's not just a medium or broad, it's a Nagahara cross point. The nib is huge. It's always hard to show that off if you hold it like that, but here I have a Pelikan Stola with a number 5 nib. Just lining those up. And you'll see the difference. The Sailor nib is enormous. Also gives a beautiful amount of line variation because of the shape. I'll try to show that here, but you can see that's a lot of tipping. You can also see that secondary nib on top of there, right? You see that there is a little bit of nibbage sticking out, and you can see that the shape of the nib, it strongly tapers down. It's not worn down, that's what it should look like. It's very fascinating. The pen is fed through a very standard Sailor converter. I'm going to very carefully remove that so it's not spill any ink. Sailor converter. and that's all there's to it. You have this enormous metal part, and I really like that. The metal part has little, I don't know, knurling, some grippy stuff there, and that allows you to put an ink bottle and hold it. There is something to actually hold on to. You don't have to awkwardly hold the section. You can just hold it and fill up your pen. Barrel goes back on there, and something I wanted to show you was this is a Montblanc 149. I'll do it in front of my face because it's the most white thing. My shirt is black, sorry. So here we have a Montblanc. I'm not giving you the finger, I'm sorry. We have a Montblanc 149, and we have the Sailor King of Pen. So as you, sorry, the LB5, but it, basically King of Pen, a little bit bigger. You see that in some parts it's just a little bigger. It's just a little longer, right, in this section. This 149 is a piston turning knob, of course. This is just a little end cap. You see that the nib on the Sailor is pretty much the size of a Montblanc 149, so a number 9 Montblanc nib. That's the size. So by no means is it an excessively huge pen, but it's definitely big. This is a big, bulky pen, but it's beautiful. It's beautifully balanced. I'll come back to that in 1 second. If you really want to, you can post this, but personally I wouldn't. I don't want to damage the material here, and by all means it's big enough to be used unposted. Okay, what do I like about the pen? What do I not like about the pen? Well, let's start with some things I don't like. First of all, it's a highly limited pen. It's a very special material. It's, in this case, a specialty nib. And I think the new price for these pens with the Nagahara crosspoint nibs was $1,800 or $1,850 US. So this is not a cheap pen. That's not what we paid for it. But whether it's new or whether you get it pre-owned, it doesn't really matter. What matters is this is not a $50 pen. But you're also not buying a $50 pen, you're buying a limited edition, you're buying a large pen, you're buying a specialty nib, etc. The regular nibs are, I think, $1,500. So you're looking at an expensive pen, and that may or may not be worth it to you. Given how gorgeous it is, given the shape, the size, the weight, the balance, everything, for me that is worth it. In this pen, it's worth it. But of course, it's a personal decision. The other thing I don't like so much about it is the converter. This as a piston filler would be superb. The issue with a converter, the Sailor converters are very, very small, have a low capacity, and that is an issue, especially if you have such a broad specialty nib like the crosspoint. It's very, very broad. It's like a paintbrush when it writes, and it will blow through ink like there's no tomorrow. I have fairly large handwriting, but it's really broad. And this is a nib. I think it's meant to kind of simulate a brush to do Asian-style calligraphy. I can write with it though. You just need to take up a bit more space, and if you hold the pen up a little higher, so the lower you hold it, the lower the angle, like this, it will be very, very broad. If you hold it up higher, then it will be finer. It's kind of like an architect grind. So a finer downstroke and a broader side stroke. The exact opposite from an italic, which is broad and fine. So it's not for everyone. If you want to get this and you want to use it for everyday writing, then maybe see if you can try something like this out somewhere, because it could be too broad for you. These are things I don't like so much. Things I do like so much. This pen is magnificent. I'm sorry, it's my pen. I've been eyeing it for months, and since I got it, it has not been inked up. So it has not been not inked up a single day. So I've had it inked continuously. I have it with me all the time. I use it all the time. It is superb. Everything about it. The finish, the shape. I love the balance. As you've seen, the section has quite some metal on it. Not only is that nice for filling it, but that also makes for a very comfortable balance, because it's heavy right where you hold it, making it nice and very balanced to write with. This is not so heavy, it's not top heavy. Again, I'm not talking about posting, I think it's not really necessary to post this, but the balance is great. You can write with this for a long time. Your hand won't get tired because, relatively speaking, even though it's large, it's not that heavy. If you look at a Mont Blanc, especially 149, which has a brass part in the back there, I think those are a bit more top heavy, and the Mont Blanc itself is not a very heavy pen. But there are pens that are heavier, and for longer writing sessions just tires your hands a bit. This one doesn't. I can write with this for hours and not feel any fatigue. And for me it's perfect. It's just perfect. It's a highly personal thing, but it's the way it's made, the way you hold it, I think it's perfection. And Classic Pens nailed it. It's everything you need. Now, you may think, wow, he's really absurdly enthusiastic about this. Yes, I know, but I'll tell you something. I know a couple of people who also have LB5s. People like Matt Armstrong, the Pen Habit, Dr. Joe Vitolo, the calligrapher extraordinaire, and there are other people. All of them are extremely enthusiastic. And in fact, Joe Vitolo, when I posted a picture of this, said, yeah, you know, I knew you would love it. I knew you would love it. I've seen your reviews. I know what you like. This pen is perfect for you. And it is. So it's really strange. I can't really explain it. Matt, the same thing, by the way. He is also completely in love with his LB5s. There's something about it. They nailed it. And I'm in a position where I've used hundreds of different pens, ranging from a few dollars to a few $1,000s. And I'm not saying I own all of those, huh? I've said I've used them. But this one, this is it. This is the model. This is where everything comes together perfectly. And that's all I can say. I don't know what it is. It's some type of magic they used. Perfection. It's the divine proportion. I don't know what it is. It's perfect. So I'm very, very happy with this pen, as you may have guessed from watching this excessively long and rambling video. Drooling like a schoolboy. Sorry. I love it. You need to see this pen in action. That's what I'm going to do next. I'm going to do writing sample. High resolution pictures will be on the website, sbrebrown.com. No one can do them better justice than Gourmet Pen, so she's taken the pictures. Also, of course, the pen's dimensions will be on the website. And that's all there's to it. One quick remark, this edition sold out. So if you want the red, you can't get it anymore, at least not very easily. You can maybe get it on eBay. They occasionally show up, pen shows, etc. But I've got the feeling people don't really sell these pens very often once they have them, because they're so good. But there are other versions out there. You can still get the brown version, you can get the white version, so it's the same model, it's just a different finish. And that's it. Let's see how it writes. Thank you for bearing with me, for listening to me ramble. I'm sorry, I'm just ultra enthusiastic about this pen, and sometimes I just can barely contain myself. Lord Windermere approves the pen for obvious reasons. Yeah, it's red. And that's it. Let's do writing sample. Gladly see you later. Bye bye. Okay, so here we go with the Classic Pens LB5. Now I'm going to be using this very straight to just write down the name. You saw there was a skip there. That was because I'm holding this at a very high angle. Kaen. And the ink is Mont Blanc Poppy Red. Thought that was a good match with the pen. Now, if you use it like this, then you have a good broad nib. A quick broad fox, alright. Now this is as high as I can hold it. It's steep an angle. You see my handwriting really, it's tough to write with a pen almost perpendicular to the paper. But if you really hold it straight, then you have a fine nib. But that's not the fun part. Alright, I'm just going to do that again, fast. I have not had any issues with this pen and its flow. It doesn't skip. It doesn't hard start. And you see, even when you write quickly, then it just keeps up. But here's not the fun. What's the fun? The fun is using this pen with a normal writing angle. Okay, so we have fine lines, and we can make them a bit more medium, or we can do that. Alright, so this is not pressure, this is no pressure, but you go from fine to a good medium. In many pens that's already a broad, to definitely broad, to ultra broad. And clearly this is something that would be beneficial if you're writing characters. Alright, clearly my Asian calligraphy absolutely sucks, so forgive me, I can't do this, but you can see how you could simulate a brush with this, right? And that's the point. Question: can you do reverse writing? Because you can do that with some of the Nagahara nibs, these specialty nibs. Answer: yes, you can do reverse writing. It gets a bit dry, but you have an extra fine needle point. Very unpleasant. I wouldn't really recommend writing like this. It's very sharp, it's not very pleasant, but you could. Is this suitable for everyday writing? Sure. I mean, if your writing is like this, it's not a big deal. But this is a really fun pen. You can imagine that I'm just going to take another sheet of paper. I hardly ever do that in writing samples, but I will here. Because one thing I have not yet covered is wetness. Well, no complaints there. Line variation with pressure. You see it starts to railroad fairly quickly, but you don't really need that pressure because obviously you have line variation just because of the shape of the nib. Okay, so is this a fun pen? This is definitely a fun pen, and I love it. That's all there's to it. So, thank you to Aziza for being wonderful enough to give me one of these. That was a magnificent gift, and I'm very, 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 very happy with it. And of course also thank you to my main man Sarj for having the pen and selling it at what I consider to be a very decent price, given what it is. Guys, hope that was useful, and I'll gladly see you later. Bye bye.